All right, my darling, welcome in. Welcome to you. Welcome to Wednesday. I hope everybody's doing great. I am switching it up a little bit on Pathfinders. We've been spending a lot of time on learning to meditate. I think we spent the last month doing exercises, which you all have. I'd like to, for the next couple weeks leading up to the retreat, talk about the spiritual path and the new information that I'm getting during these readings and downloads about how the spiritual path is changing, how you can work with your spiritual path. It's almost like it's becoming more tangible or something. So we're going to start that today in Pathfinders. If you're part of that, going to do it for a couple of weeks. We are going to be having the retreat in Sedona at the end of April. I believe it's full now. I believe it's full. We are going to be teaching you about channeling and mediumship. Going to be doing a lot of that work. So I'm excited for that. And April itself is such a powerful month astrologically that all of these readings have kind of been a little off the hook for me. So I wanted to kind of bring in that experience to you, sort of, align us all or have this kind of conversation about what you're experiencing also too in the spiritual path right now, because it's getting more intense. Wondrous universe. Mystic healer, you betcha. Healing energy flows through you. Transformation. A fresh new way of living emerges. Wow. Not surprised. Stepping into power. You are strong beyond measure. There has been a lot of shifting in the spiritual journey this last, 6 weeks especially. And it will continue through 2025 and into 2026. The beginning part of 2026 is really going to be a time when the new earth really starts to take shape for people. Okay, like we really start to see the edges of it. We start to see where it's going. And right now we're at a choice point. We're at a time when those on the spiritual path, if you're watching my channel, you're on the spiritual path. That's what this channel is all about. Soulful revolution. Some of you are opening up to new gifts. Some of you have been surprised by the energetic response you've had to what's been going on over the last 6 weeks or so. Maybe a lot more sleeping, maybe illness. I was ill for the entire month of March, which is very unlike me. But a lot of things got moved around for me. And I was just like, wow. As someone who spends their days talking and thinking about this, I was still taken aback by it. So, Two of Cups, look at this. 5 of Pentacles, 5 of Swords, Lovers, and the 3 of Pentacles. Now this came out, and look at High Priestess. This came out in the Twin Flame reading as how do I say this? The quality of the connection is moving into service. Okay, like that's what it's becoming. I feel like there's a lot of healing around heart chakras to do right now. And this is not just Twin Flames. This is definitely spiritual path. There's something about toxic energy on the planet, manipulation, narcissistic traits, people who really step into that. A lot of energy around shame and pride. Those two things, especially when, the old mindset about you are responsible, you are solely responsible for where you get in life, and not really seeing, the helpers, or not really seeing people who, have given you a leg up or have torn you down as relevant, and not really understanding that being plugged into the divine. You're responsible for your path. Whatever this 3D thing is about, how far you get, how successful you are, like that is just, that's not going to be a yardstick anymore. And I feel like that's what a lot of people are mourning, or people who are like not awake, not, sort of paying attention to anything on the spiritual path other than maybe traditional religion or something like that. They're not really seeing their own power. They're not really seeing their the partnership they have with all of us, right? We are all in this ocean together. We're all connected to each other. We're all manifesting. We're all bringing about things in our lives. And if your mindset is that I am an island, that nobody helped me get here, or that everybody keeps putting me down, like those two things, if that doesn't even make sense. And this is something that I grew up with, where there was a sense of like, if something really good happens to me, it's because I did it. But if something really bad happens to me, it's their fault. And it was always, to me, just sort of like, okay, wow, that doesn't even make sense to me. And, when I was working in television as a producer, I used to say this all the time, and it's funny that I was keying in on this. There were two things I was keying in on very early in my life. The first one was, as a producer in television, if the show goes great, we all did a great job. And if it sucks, it's your fault, producer. Okay? I keyed in onto that really early. And I was like, oh, is this bad? When we go back into this, like, okay, if it's terrible, the other people are kind of turning around going, well, you could have done this better. You could have done this better, instead of anybody looking at themselves too. That would happen a lot. But if it went great, like, wow, we're all awesome. And, you're kind of just like thrown in the mix there. It's like, not really, we're not going to give you any kind of elevation because of that. So there was that. I saw that. And then the other thing that I noticed was going on in and around my family, maybe later on in my teenage years, whatever, was that there was a real sense, and this was not just them, this was other people around us too, that was like, if it's not happening to me, it's not happening. And I was always kind of like, what? Like, it was a sense of like shuddering. I want to close out, it's almost evolved into a belief system where if I don't have any direct experience of something, that means it never happened. And what happens with that is that we discount history. We, completely devalue other people's experience by doing that. And I think all those things are going away. I think all of those two mindsets in particular are going to be upended. Now, transformation, let's see where we're going with the reading. 3 of Wands, Tower. Okay. 6 of Cups, upending some childhood belief systems that actually didn't make any sense. Now, I just told you 2 of the ones that were going on around me, but I bet you could think of some mindsets from your own family or from your upbringing that actually, if you think about it, make no sense. And I'm not just talking about logically. I'm talking about as a human heart. Okay? Like that one person's more valuable than the other. Really? No. We all have our roles to play. And whatever you grew up with, whatever that thing is, I feel like those on the spiritual path, and you are because you're watching this channel, are really being keyed into those kinds of belief systems that are all, each one of us may have 1 or 2 or 3 of those that were shown to us in our upbringing that now we're going to see in stark relief how completely not Age of Aquarius. It could have been useful at one time, not useful anymore. It could have been a mindset that says, whatever it was about separation. Separating, and I did see this a lot in my own upbringing, in my own family, separating me from accountability, taking responsibility, separating me from anything that would make me feel uncomfortable because I don't want to heal. I don't want to face that. Okay. Those kinds of things are what we are really going to be noticing and being working with over the rest of this year, I feel. Also, like, who did you allow to kind of tear you down? And why did that happen? Who did you allow to make you feel shame? Okay. What was the shame about? The shame and pride thing is a big deal. And pride about like having done something magnanimous or having done good work or having been a kind human being or something like that, having some kind of pride in something. And as with anything, right? Pride goeth before a fall. Anything that's too pronounced, gonna get a tower. So even like if you think about, let's think about love and adoration. Too much of that is stalking. Anything that you can think of has an extreme. And the extremes are what's going to be, because we are so polarized right now, the extremes are what is going to be not eradicated, but shown. Whoever is embracing the extremes is going to lose power. Okay? Lose power. The Sun, Page of Swords, Queen of Swords, clarity. Judgment. Oh, yeah. Wow. Six of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, the Fool. Outcome is the Knight of Swords. There's going to be a lot of attitudes, mindsets, ways of being in the world that are going to be upended, and we're all going to see and go, oh, yeah. Okay, that's I don't want to drag that with us. So as a collective, think about the 10 of Wands, right? Like so much baggage. We are having, humanity is carrying so much baggage. And we're now kind of so out of balance that baggage is going to be the thing that has to be thrown overboard. It's kind of like it's us or that. And in order to create a new future, which we are being asked to do right now, those things that are out of balance, the extreme, those are the things that need to go. So there's something really interesting that I'm noticing here in this reading. You notice about these out of balance kinds of things. The Five of Swords, right? Someone telling you what to do or being manipulative. The Six of Pentacles, begging. The Three of Wands, adulation or putting someone on a pedestal. I just feel like that kind of stuff, things that are out of balance is what is going to be blown up. Okay. And I don't mean that literally. I just mean that for the enlightenment to shine in, for the sun to shine in, for the balance to be created, the transformation is that we need to be on firm footing. Look at him going off the edge there. And it can't be like that. It has to be much more on solid ground. Okay. So there is something, and actually here's much more solid ground. This is solid ground with the Knight of Pentacles, the Hierophant. So this is Taurus. That's Taurus and Virgo. There's something about, Virgo is about systems and how we do things. And Taurus is about Mother Earth. I feel like this might have to do with something going on the earth, earthquakes or coming up from the sea. This is Poseidon. All right. So there can be something going on on Mother Earth this month that is laying it's, what is that phrase? It's sort of like man plans and God laughs. Okay, so there's something like that because we have, maybe this has to do with us really putting the kind of society we have on a pedestal, and then the earth is like fighting back against that. So there can be something happening to Gaia that is very chastening. With Mars going back into Leo, I can see there being fires. Okay, anytime I see this transformative energy, that color makes me feel like fires. So there can be something more like that, fire, storm, something with the oceans. And when things are out of balance in a physical way. And so this can go into, humanity as well. When things are out of balance, there must be some kind of reckoning. Okay, let's clarify the Tower right now. When things are out of balance, there must be some kind of reckoning. Ace of Pentacles, planting the new seeds. Star. That's Aquarian. That's very healing energy. Here's the Nine of Wands. We're at the very end of this energy. Seven of Wands. We are in this deck. Nine of Wands is about the final leg of a journey. And the Seven of Wands in this deck looks a little bit more like the Five of Wands in most decks, where we're kind of all like, down in the mud fighting with each other. So I feel like we're coming to the end of that, because we've realized that this out of balance thing can't work. Okay, this out of balance things can't work. And so Tower, we're going to be given a new opportunity through some kind of earth change. It can be the solar flares. It can be our physical internal transformation because of the things that are happening on the planet. Nine of Cups. There's the Five of Wands, but look at that. It's you and me against the dragon, which I like a lot better. The Magician. High Priestess. This is about us coming together. So there's going to be some clarifying moment. I don't know what this is, that is going to bring people together. And I hate to say it, but you know what's coming to mind? 9/11. Remember the days after 9/11? How everybody was nicer to each other for like a couple weeks. And then it kind of went back to normal. But there was this sense of like, wow, we are in this together. We are, we were attacked. Okay. And there's something here that's going to put us into balance. Wow. Okay. So the outcome card here is Mercury. And this is about communication. This is about things moving forward very, very quickly. I feel like whatever clarifying energy this is, whatever transformative energy this is, whether it's an earthquake or a tsunami or something like that, there's going to be like petty squabbles that don't matter. Think about those days. And I'm not saying we're going to be attacked like 9/11, but I'm just saying, like, I'm talking about the days after. How people helped each other. I really don't want to have another thing like that, just so we kind of get our humanity back. Oh my gosh, there's a lot to come. All right, so if this is your reading, link is below. I will continue on. This is going to be a big shift. See you over there. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.